What if the biggest reason traders lose money isn't because they trade too much, but because they trade too big? Most people believe one great trade can change their life, yet the market quietly rewards the person who thinks the smallest. That sounds backwards, doesn't it? But once you understand the psychology behind it, you'll never look at trading the same way again. In the next few minutes, you'll discover why the traders who seem almost invisible are often the ones building extraordinary results, while those chasing massive wins usually end up trapped in an endless cycle of fear, greed, and regret. The surprising part is that this has very little to do with indicators, secret strategies, or predicting the next move. It has everything to do with how your mind reacts when money is on the line. Every small decision you make is shaping the trader you will become tomorrow, and one hidden habit can quietly determine whether you build lasting consistency or keep repeating the same painful mistakes. But here's what most people never realize. The smallest trades often unlock the biggest psychological advantage, and once you see why, you'll understand why patience can become your greatest edge. As this journey unfolds, each chapter will reveal another layer of a mindset that separates disciplined traders from emotional gamblers, and the final chapter contains the most powerful lesson of all, a lesson that can completely change the way you think about risk, confidence, and long-term success. If something you hear challenges the way you've always thought about trading, take a moment to like this video so more people can discover these ideas. Share your biggest takeaway or trading experience in the comments, because your perspective could help someone else avoid an expensive mistake, and subscribe so you don't miss the next lesson in this journey toward mastering the psychology behind consistent success. Now, let's uncover the first truth that almost every struggling trader overlooks. Chapter 1. Why Small Trades Build Unshakable Confidence. Imagine standing at the edge of a swimming pool for the very first time. If someone pushed you into the deep end, fear would take over before you had a chance to think. But if you started in the shallow end, learning one small movement at a time, confidence would slowly replace uncertainty. Trading works the same way. Most people enter the market believing that bigger positions create bigger opportunities. What they don't realize is that bigger positions also create bigger emotions. The larger the risk, the louder fear becomes. And once fear starts making decisions, logic quietly disappears. This is where many traders begin losing long before they lose money. Every time the market moves against a large position, the brain treats the situation like a real threat. Your heartbeat speeds up. Doubt grows stronger. Suddenly, you're no longer following your plan. You're reacting. You move your stop loss, you exit too early. You chase the next trade, hoping to recover what you just lost. Notice what happened. The market didn't defeat you. Your emotions did. Now picture another trader. This trader risks so little on each position that every trade feels almost ordinary. A small loss doesn't create panic. A small win doesn't create overconfidence. Instead of fighting emotions every minute, this trader has the mental space to observe, think clearly, and execute the plan exactly as designed. That may sound less exciting, but excitement has never been the goal. Consistency is. Here's something interesting. Confidence is often misunderstood. Most people believe confidence comes after making a huge winning trade, but real confidence is built in a completely different way. It grows from repeatedly proving to yourself that you can follow your own rules, regardless of the outcome. Each disciplined trade becomes evidence. Evidence becomes belief. Belief becomes identity. Eventually, you stop thinking like someone trying to get lucky. You begin thinking like someone whose job is simply to make the next good decision. That shift changes everything, because once your identity changes, your behavior changes naturally. You no longer wake up searching for the perfect setup that will make you rich overnight. Instead, you patiently wait for opportunities that match your plan, knowing that protecting your mind is just as important as protecting your account. The market rewards people who can stay calm longer than everyone else. Small trades make that possible. They give you room to think instead of react. They allow discipline to grow before pressure becomes overwhelming. Most people are chasing bigger profits. Very few are building a stronger mind. And that's exactly why so many never reach lasting success. But this raises an even bigger question. If trading small creates emotional control and steady confidence, why do so many intelligent people continue risking too much, even after experiencing painful losses? The answer isn't found in the market, it's hidden deep inside human psychology, and that's where the next chapter begins. Chapter 2. The hidden cost of chasing big wins. Think about the last time you wanted something so badly that you stopped thinking clearly. Maybe it wasn't trading. Maybe it was a promotion, a relationship, or an opportunity you believed would change your life. The more emotionally attached you became to the outcome, the harder it was to make rational decisions. The same pattern appears in the market every single day. Most traders don't lose because they lack intelligence. They lose because they become emotionally attached to one trade. They convince themselves that this is the opportunity that will erase months of losses or finally prove they are good enough. That belief is dangerous. The moment one trade starts carrying the weight of your dreams, it also carries the weight of your fear. Now every price movement feels personal. A small pullback feels like failure. A losing trade feels like rejection. And instead of reading the market objectively, you begin searching for reasons to justify staying in a bad position. Your mind isn't looking for the truth anymore. It's looking for comfort. This is one of the biggest psychological traps in trading. The brain naturally hates being wrong. It would rather protect your ego than protect your account. That's why so many traders ignore their stop loss, average into losing positions, or jump into revenge trades immediately after a loss. Notice the pattern. The first mistake rarely causes the biggest damage. The second emotional decision does. Then comes the third. Before long, what started as a manageable loss turns into weeks or even months of frustration. Now imagine a different approach, a trader who never expects one trade to change everything. Instead, every position is simply one small step in a much longer journey. A win is accepted with gratitude, but not excitement. A loss is accepted with curiosity, not anger. There is no desperate need to be right because success is no longer measured by a single outcome. It's measured by consistent behavior. That simple shift changes everything. When you stop chasing the feeling of a huge win, something unexpected happens. The pressure disappears. Your decisions become calmer. You wait instead of forcing trades. You protect capital instead of gambling with it. Ironically, this is often when performance begins to improve, because the market has always rewarded patience more than urgency. Results follow discipline. Discipline follows emotional control. And emotional control begins the moment you stop asking, "How much money can I make from this trade?" and start asking, "Can I execute this trade exactly as planned?" That question quietly separates professionals from everyone else. But there's another layer that most people never see. Even disciplined traders can struggle if they don't understand one powerful force working silently in the background. It's a force that doesn't create dramatic headlines, yet over months and years, it becomes the greatest advantage anyone can possess. That force is consistency, and once you understand how consistency quietly compounds into extraordinary success, you'll never feel the need to chase another big win again. Chapter 3. How consistency quietly compounds into success. Imagine planting 2 seeds on the same day. Every morning, you water the first one with patience. You protect it from harsh weather. You never expect it to become a tree overnight. The second seed is different. Every few days you dig it up to see if it's growing. You move it to a new spot. You pour on more water, hoping to speed up the process. Months later, only one has become strong. Trading is no different. The market doesn't reward the person who changes direction every week. It rewards the person who can repeat a good process long enough for the results to appear. Yet this is where most traders struggle. They expect immediate proof that they're on the right path. After a few losing trades, they abandon their strategy. They search for a new indicator, another mentor, or the latest can't-miss system. For a short time, hope returns. Then the cycle repeats. The problem isn't always the strategy. The problem is the inability to stay consistent long enough to discover whether the strategy actually works. Here's something worth thinking about. A single trade tells you almost nothing, 10 trades tell you a little. 100 well-executed trades begin to tell the truth. Professionals understand this. They don't judge themselves by today's result. They judge themselves by the quality of their decisions over time. That's a completely different mindset. Instead of chasing perfection, they pursue repetition. Instead of looking for certainty, they build trust in their process. Every correctly executed trade becomes another brick in a foundation that grows stronger with time. This is where the real power of consistency begins. Small improvements seem invisible at first. A little more patience, a little less fear, a little better risk management, a little more discipline. None of these changes feel dramatic in a single day, but day after day, week after week, they begin to multiply. 1% better decisions become better habits. Better habits become better outcomes. Better outcomes create deeper confidence. And deeper confidence makes disciplined decisions feel natural instead of difficult. Most people underestimate this quiet transformation because it doesn't happen in one exciting moment. It happens through hundreds of ordinary moments. That's why consistency is so powerful. It doesn't ask you to be perfect. It simply asks you to show up with the same discipline, even when nobody is watching, and even when the last trade didn't go your way. The market notices that kind of patience. Over time, it rewards it. But there's one final piece that brings everything together. You can trade small. You can avoid chasing big wins. You can stay remarkably consistent. Yet if your identity still depends on proving yourself right, you'll eventually fall back into old habits. The greatest transformation doesn't happen when your account balance changes. It happens when the person making the decisions changes. And that's the final lesson, because lasting success begins the moment you stop trying to become a better trader and start becoming a better thinker. Chapter 4. The mindset that turns small victories into lasting wealth. Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that the market no longer controls your emotions. A winning trade doesn't make you feel invincible. A losing trade doesn't make you question your future. For the first time, your confidence comes from within, not from the number on your screen. This is the mindset that separates temporary success from lasting success. Most people believe wealth is created by finding the perfect opportunity. But the truth is far less exciting and far more powerful. Lasting wealth is built by thousands of ordinary decisions made with extraordinary discipline. Think about it. Every trade gives you two possible rewards. One reward is money, the other is experience. Money can disappear with one careless decision. Experience stays with you forever if you're willing to learn from it. The best traders understand this difference. They don't ask, "Did I make money today?" They ask, "Did I become better today?" That single question changes everything. Because when growth becomes your priority, profits become a natural consequence instead of an obsession. This is where your identity quietly transforms. You stop seeing yourself as someone trying to beat the market. You become someone committed to mastering yourself. Fear still appears. Greed still whispers. Impatience still shows up. But they no longer control your actions. You notice them, you acknowledge them, then you return to your plan. That is real emotional strength. And emotional strength creates financial strength. Here's something most people never realize. The market doesn't owe you a winning trade. It doesn't know your goals. It doesn't care about yesterday's losses. The market simply offers opportunities. Your job is not to force results. Your job is to recognize the right opportunity, manage your risk, and accept whatever outcome follows. Once you truly accept that, an incredible sense of freedom begins to replace pressure. You no longer need every trade to work. You only need to keep making good decisions. Over time, those decisions begin stacking on top of one another. One disciplined trade becomes 10. 10 become 100. 100 become a career built on trust, patience, and consistency. That's how small victories become lasting wealth, not because each win is life-changing, but because each win reinforces the habits that make future success more likely. And here's the greatest lesson of all. The market was never your biggest opponent. The real challenge was always the voice inside your own mind, the voice demanding certainty, chasing shortcuts, fearing losses, and craving instant rewards. The moment you stop fighting the market and start leading your own mind, everything changes. Results follow behavior. Behavior follows identity. Identity follows the choices you make every single day. So trade with patience. Protect your capital. Respect your process. And remember this whenever you're tempted to risk too much for one big payday. Small trades build calm minds. Calm minds make great decisions. Great decisions, repeated over time, create extraordinary lives.